All you need now is a blue ox. Well, looky here. How you doing? Good, good. Yourself? Doing fine. What you been up to? Been busy. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, since you're the new one in, the last one in, definitely Sean is hernia
Oh, gosh.
through the door to the left.
Oh, no. Okay. Where is Doug? He was here, wasn't
It is.
5:30, we're ready to start. Sir?
Do I need to pivot around here?
Yeah. Okay. Or maybe, Jeff maybe make this. Jeff supposed to be here? Quick.
Supposed.
Okay. Maybe it'll be okay. I guess we'll watch that.
Let me get here.
There we go, I got it.
Rotate it that way so you're pointing it a little bit at that.
Okay, it's working now.
Got it?
You want to
Okay.
move it?
Someone's coming in.
That's Jeff.
Lee?
Sorry.
You got bricks in there?
Yeah.
Anyway, water plant routine maintenance at the water plant is an ongoing process. Cleaning of recarbonation basins, cleaning of line dissolving tanks taking place now. We periodically clean tanks out on different times. We're talking about water first here, just to keep things maintained and cleaned up and looking nice. That is our lime dissolving tank that dissolves a tank, dissolves the lime into water, keeps it in suspension. But that's how caked it looks. When it's all done, it'll be all stainless steel after we get that cleaned.
Oh, wow.
But that shows you the buildup that'll take place.
Are you able to use that built-up lime or no?
Yeah, well, I mean, it gets flushed out and cleaned. No, we don't really reuse it. It doesn't. Well, some of it goes back out to the middle of the clarifier, so, and then the rest of it goes to the lagoon out back. So we utilize a little bit of it.
Is that the tank that beside the building that rattles?
Yep, that's the tank in the bottom of the tank of the lime silo. It's right there at the bottom. That's a picture of it. But anyway, when that's all cleaned out, it looks nice and clean and stainless steel. Sometimes they actually use they'll use like putty knives, or they've actually got like a jackhammer device that like with a flat head on it.
Oh, yeah.
It cleans it. Does a real good job. That's the recarbonation basin that we use for adjusting the pH. That's Amanda Clark and hosing out the top of it. There's actually looking down inside. And that's the recarbonation basin after CO2 is added to it. And then there's some detention time that takes place, and the excess lime falls out there. And then that's where the lowers the pH and then goes into the filter belt for filters. We had a repeat main break on Colonial Drive with boil alert again. This one was about 3 foot from the main break we had in the spring. It gets pretty intense. Of course, there's no curbs or gutters or anything down on Colonial Drive, so the water just has a tendency to lay. It filled that whole area up at the bottom of Colonial Drive there. By the time I got there, most of it was gone, but we actually had to get the water to escape. We actually opened up a sewer and allowed the water to flow down off the ground and into the sewer plant so that we could dry things up enough to start digging and repair the main. Guys worked pretty hard on that one. You have to be careful when you dig in areas like that, especially where you know you've just had a main break, because you can actually pull the clamp off that you just made the repair with. But again, it was 3 foot. I don't know if it's its age. I mean, if it continues to be a problem, we may have to look at maybe possibly replacing some water line in that area in the future if things keep. And it gets a hole in about the size of a golf ball, and just blows out the side of the main. So it's a cast iron, probably put in the early 60s. That's one of our older additions. Directional boring on Route 79. I talked a little bit about that. We bored a 6-inch main, was bored under Route 79 to provide water to customers. This eliminated about 2,000 feet of water main in the middle of Route 79. So what we did was we took water from the other side and brought it across, and it serviced like Burger King area. There's a oil loop there. There's I think there's a Pizza Hut. Anyway, there's like 3 or 4 customers that's right into that area there.
East-west.
Yeah, we service those. And we did it. In order to do that, you have to dig a hole in the middle of Route 79. That's what we did there, locate the existing main that is in the middle of the road. So we then bore a hole through the line, or it could also cause it to go a different direction. We actually eliminated that line there in the middle. We'll shut that off, and that'll be abandoned, the line there, and that won't be used anymore. So we located the water line there so we could get our depths. Then you dig a hole on one side of State Route 79 and another hole on the other side of State Route 79. Right here is the unit that bores it, right there. It'll go right in the ground. You can see the shaft there, and then they bore underneath the road, and then they'll ream it. Once it's on the other side, they put a reamer on the other side, and when they pull it back, it reams it and allows it for the pipe to be able to pull the pipe back through. Then you bore back through again, you attach the pipe to it. You can see the pipe laying over here that they'll use to go across the Route 79. And they'll pull that pipe back across over to where it needs to be. That's another hole there that they use. There's a hole on each side and then one in the middle of Route 79.
Is that a casing that pipe goes in, or?
No, that's it. They'll actually pull it's called a certain T water pipe. It's a plastic pipe. They'll actually pull the water pipe back across. There's no casing or anything like that.
How big is the pipe?
6 inch. Pipe. A lot of things you have to be careful of. You got to be careful that you don't go through the storm drains. You don't go through. There's also gas lines in there. You got to avoid all that stuff. Have everything located. Make sure that you're underneath them depth-wise and everything when you start.
Who, Mr. Shank owns that property on the right-hand side of the picture.
Mhm.
Who owns on the left, where Staples is?
I don't know who the property owner is, to be quite honest with you. Here's another picture of the view, the pipe laying on that side. We're going over to this side. This portion hadn't been dug yet, it looks like. These are the 3 guys out front of the Jiffy Lube saying that they're not busy right now. Come in and get it for a discount price. Your oil change.
Say that again?
Come in and get your oil change at a discount price or whatever they usually do. There's no wait. This guy right here usually has a sign that says no wait. I didn't want you to think those were workers standing out there. Those are Jiffy Lube guys standing there on the side of the road. Here's what it looks like when it's completed. They pull that across to the other side of the road. You can see how this was made a little bit bigger there. The hole that's reamed out, and then they'll attach that to that pipe and then pull it all the way across, and then you're under State Route 79 with a 6-inch main.
Do you want anything to fill that ammo space?
No, they actually mix a compound with that when they're pumping it, and it makes it real slippery. So you bore underneath.
Like bentonite?
It's like a bentonite, almost. If I had to describe it, it's like a bentonite. And then that makes it easier to pull. But there's nothing. The ground just goes around.
No sleeve or anything?
There's no sleeve, nothing.
What's that blue line there attached to it?
What that is tracer wire.
Okay.
So if you want to trace that line in the future, they'll make a connection on the
That would
side.
be like A metal detector would,
That's
but you
right.
couldn't find
Right.
plastic.
And that's a
issues
special
like
type of
that.
wire. That wire is real expensive. It's hard to break, and it's thicker, has more tensile strength and everything. So if you wanted to locate that line exactly where that goes across, we'll just hook our equipment up to that, and we'll be able to trace exactly where it's at, the depth of it and everything. That's how this thing works too. I don't know if I got. There's Bill out in the middle of the road there. Very dangerous to work out there. I thought I had a picture. See this right here? This unit right here. On the end of this unit, there's a head, and this unit right here, they know exactly where they're boring at. They run that over top of that. They know the depth of it. They know what, like if they want to start going to the left, the guy can actually shift that and make it go a little left. That's why they call it directional boring, because they can actually change the direction. It needs to go a little deeper, it needs to come up, so it works out real nice. Pretty amazing. Update on the AMR automatic meter reading system. Finally got a hold of them and told them that I needed some kind of a schedule. July 31st, they're supposed to be sending about 3,000 smart points are scheduled to ship. We anticipate arrival to Columbus, Ohio branch on August 7th. August 21st, the M400 base stations are scheduled to be shipped. We anticipate arrival at the Columbus office branch on September 1st. Week of September 7th, Nosh Construction will install the base station antennas. And then they mentioned, please note that Labor Day is September 7th this year. Week of September 14th, Census will configure the setup for the base stations. And the week of September 21st, test smart points will be installed. If no issues arise, the City of Heath can begin install. That's when we'll start going around to each place, reprogramming and snapping something different on the outside, and then that meter will be able to be read automatically. So it looks like it's going to be about September before we get into our part of it, where we actually start doing some work, sitting with the city employees, going out, reprogramming, and hooking them up. Well number 9 was completed. I talked a little bit about that earlier, but I just want to let you know everything was done on it. Every 6 years we go through a well. It gets totally tore down. It gets checked. Motors gets checked.
How often?
Every 6 years.
You do another well?
Well, that well will be replaced every 6 years. It'll not replaced, but it'll be going through. It'll be pulled. Motor will be checked. Pump will be checked.
Okay, not every
shafting.
6 years. You go to another well, it's
Yeah.
this well.
That well, in 6 more years, that well will be
Yeah,
serviced.
each well gets addressed
Yeah.
every 6 years.
Every 6 years.
Right.
And they check the shaft and make sure that's a stainless steel shaft that goes down about 135, 140 feet. That well is a 36-inch well with a 16-inch casing. In between the 36 and the 16-inch casing is a gravel packed in there. The total depth of the well is usually somewhere, each well is a little bit different, but some wells are usually around 230 to 250 feet deep. These are vertical turbine pumps. And then, again, everything's gone through, all the motors checked, shafting's all checked, pump heads repacked. This is all after cleaning, after we cleaned the well, everything like that. We're looking into well number 10. We would kind of like to drill a test well this year, if we can get it worked out. Mayor and I are in the process of working on that issue. I don't know if you want to comment on any of that, Mayor, or
No.
Okay. But anyway. Any other questions on water? Okay. Wastewater. I don't know what these U's are over here for. They were just dots, but something got changed. Wastewater, we're going to talk about that clarifier painting and drive rebuild. That's in process right now. Monday, which is today, the catwalk will be removed. Then the rebuilt drive will be installed. That was all done today. They removed the catwalk, installed the new rebuilt drive, and that unit will be ready. What they basically do is they come in here, they kind of sandblast the concrete, then they'll patch it up, and then they'll paint this portion of the wall right here. This material you'll see down inside here is sandblast material, what they use to bring it down to a bright finish, and then everything, the old paint's all totally removed from the unit, and that's brought back up online. That's the catwalk that was removed today. I don't have any good pictures of that, but this whole catwalk was taken off of there with a crane today. We set in a whole new drive unit right there in that portion, and we put the catwalk back on it. And that, again, was completed today. That's what it looks like when, that is a tar, they call it a tar-based paint. It literally lasts about 25 years, 25 years. But it's an excellent paint. So, in about 25 years, 2040, you remind them to paint that again when it's time. So,
I'll be there.
okay. Anyway, any questions on the clarifier? Paint. Our next big project that's coming up is the preparing of a sewer line replacement on Indian Head Drive. Layton Incorporated will be replacing approximately 300 foot of sewer line late August of 2015. Letters have been mailed notifying customers of the sewer line replacement. All fence and yards will be removed, then put back. If the shrubs, trees, or flower plantings will not be put back by the city within the easements. I've met with A&B Fence. Nick was out there with me too. And we looked at the different fence that would have to be removed and then put back on.
You're comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think the price wasn't real bad. It was $2,800 to take down all that fence and then put it back. So I think overall that didn't seem too bad. Here's some pictures of the fence. This is the manhole right there that we'll be working out of. It'll go down this direction toward 300 feet from here, going this way. So you can see this portion of this fence is going to have to be removed. That's the city right-of-way.
So what's to the left of it there that's all open?
Well, I think they estimated that was kind of a city right-of-way. It was a right-of-way of some kind, probably AEP. They allowed for that, but it's still not where it's supposed to be because the city has, is it a 16-foot easement?
I thought it looked to me on the maps,
Yeah.
like it was 8 foot on each side of the lot.
Right.
8 foot on each side of
Of
where
this-
that fence
like
is
that
there?
manhole.
No, this
That
manhole.
Oh, where the manhole is,
See where
okay.
that manhole is? So
So
this,
8 foot
there's
either
8
side.
foot this way,
Yeah.
and there's 8 foot that way. There's no rhyme or reason how.
Well, that's why you look at it, it kind of makes you think maybe this
Yeah.
is where they thought the right of way was.
There's no rhyme or reason how fences are put up there.
Yeah, and they're all
You-
jagged all the way down.
Yeah,
through
you'll
there.
go down there and walk down there, and this guy in the same yards will be 8 feet out, and then you'll go down to the next yard, and then his won't be that far out. Then you go down to the next yard.
You can kind of see that on the left, about
Yeah.
halfway
Yes.
down, where that other fence sticks
Yeah.
out.
See right here? That's another fence right there. See how far much further out than it is in this
And
one?
it's like that all the way down through on both sides.
There's
Does
the
each fence
wood
company has
fence.
its idea of the
Now see
laws and the rules.
see right here is a power pole. So you know, and there's power lines running through here too. So that's a utility easement.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that fence is built on the easement. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a wood fence.
Yep.
That's going to have to be removed. We don't have to put it back, but we're going to put it back. We don't want to get anyone bent out of shape.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. So we're going to put it back. Now, how? I told them in the letter to notify me if they don't want to put it back. And like I said, I will go to each one of those houses. There's 12 houses affected. I will go to each one of those houses before we actually start, and I'll talk to each person and tell them what we're doing, how it's going to play out. We're going to remove their fence, put it back. Okay, if they don't want it put back, they need to tell us, we won't put it back. If they want to make some other arrangements with this fence company to put a new fence up, they can put a new fence up. Or whatever they want to do. I mean, we're going to try to work with them as best we can.
So we tell them that they're actually have a fence up illegally in the easement?
Yeah, they'll probably put their fence right back up illegally.
I know, but you gotta let them know that
They can do that.
technically their fence is not where it's supposed to be.
I guess this has been allowed all these years, it's kind of rough.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to stop it.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
It's more of an, if they get all bent out of shape, it's like,
We don't have to do that. I mean,
do
we're,
that technically.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Technically, we wouldn't even allow, we could make you not even put that, we could keep you from putting your fence back if we wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a diplomatic way to say, you know, actually,
But if
your
you
fence
keep
is
me
not
from
where it's
putting it
supposed to
up,
be.
You're gonna keep everybody in the whole city from putting it up.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's another yard with a fence that we're going to have to probably take down. This is a lady that has a real nice, she decided she was going to put a flower garden in the easement. So all that will be coming out from about,
Hey, we can have Bobby. He's
see where that
flowers.
bird feeder is? Going this way will be removed.
Have you talked to her yet?
Yeah. I've already talked to her.
How's she?
She don't like it, but I told her, I said, if you want to save any of those plants or whatever, you need to move the plants over, and then after you're done, you need to put them back.
Yeah.
So she was upset. Her husband just kind of, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. So it's kinda one of those deals.
I'm sure he spends countless hours in that garden.
Yeah. So, I mean, the guy, her husband was
He's hoping
okay
we
with
pay
everything,
the
but she
right
was
way.
she was rubbing her head.
I know something else.
She was kind of a little bit upset, but, if you look right here, this is another yard. I think that manhole's about right in there, isn't it,
It's
Nick?
almost beside that.
That phone pole right there. So we'll be coming, that'll be the end of it. I'm kind of progressing it down to the end. Some of these yards are, some of these yards there's gonna be improvements because all this stuff here will have to go. This fence here will have to be taken out and then put back.
What about with the
That's
fence that's
one-
got all the junk on it?
What is that, poison ivy? What is that?
I mean,
That's-
that there won't be affected, will it?
I think it'll make it better. When we go in there and clean that out. This is one yard here, and then this next picture I'm going to show you is the yard beside this one, on the Harris side. You're on the Harris side. That's the yard beside it, and all of this is going to be all that whatever's growing up. And this guy behind there is the guy with the real nice flowers. He gets all upset because these vines and stuff are coming into his yard from this other yard, coming in on the flower, her flowers and stuff. They have to get out there and try to cut them back.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's
He's rooting for a big cleanup.
he is. I think maybe he's looking. Well, maybe this isn't such a bad idea.
Yeah.
But, so. Anyway, that's kind of the way things are going to work. I don't know who's got Southgate. Is that you?
No.
Probably Brian,
Never
yeah.
mind.
Well, let me know if you hear anything. I'll do what I can. Try to make everything
You'll be the
work.
first one he called.
Well, I'm sure I will. But it should go all right. I'm anticipating. Bad part about it, it's going to be tight in there.
Yeah.
We're going to have to dig it, haul the dirt out, bring it back in. It's going to be.
Well, the nice thing is you've told the people in advance. It's not a surprise.
Right.
And that's, sometimes it's the worst thing is just as,
Yeah.
what you'd have told me.
Yeah, if you
How
just
long-
said something.
John, how long does Leighton estimate it's gonna take
3
you to do
weeks.
it? 3 weeks?
3 weeks till
Not bad.
that. It's going to go pretty quick. We're going to, Nick, we talked about this a little bit on our Monday meeting at the wastewater plant. Nick came up with an idea on, are you still thinking about that, Nick?
Yeah,
We're gonna
because that line will be shut down, so it has to be bypassed with pumping, and we got a couple different ideas. We're gonna have one-way setup with a backup and plan in case it goes down.
So,
Now, Is this a project where we're working with Layton, or are they doing it?
We'll be working with
We're-
Layton. Don't get me wrong, Layton's doing the majority of the work, but we have to make sure that everybody, that the sewer keeps flowing while they're working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll
We have the
usually-
inspections too, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nick will be there
And part of the
inspecting.
deal was, when they quit, every night when they quit, they will hook the line back up to the new portion of the line, so that overnight there'll be no pumping
Oh,
needed.
okay. Yeah. But during the day. it'll
During
be-
the day when they're working, we'll have to bypass.
Okay, next item, scum lift station, we had some maintenance we had to do, actually last week, wasn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
We got into the scum lift station where we replaced a couple valves, cleaned them out. Then we got into the pump, cleaned pumps out, made sure that they were running properly. Guys worked pretty hard on making sure everything got done and was done properly. This is the scum pit. Now, one of the improvements that we're talking about in the future is actually putting a drying bed. I don't know if I got a really good picture of that. But there's a pump where actually the impeller was full of rags and kind of, so they had to pop the bottom off and they had to clean that out and then put it back together.
Why is that?
Well, a lot of the stuff that comes from the lift stations and stuff, when you back stuff out, doesn't it end up in there too, or is that
Yeah.
strictly all from the scum?
No, that's just stuff that we clean and we
Yeah,
dump in.
it's natural, it's just part of it. Just like keeping the sewer lines clean, we have to keep the pumps clean too. We are talking in the future about putting a drying bed of some kind in, that we can actually put a concrete drying bed in, and we will be able to dump on that and let it dry out, and then once it dries out, we'll put it in a dumpster. We have a little bit of that now, but it's not a very big, this little thing right here is what we kind of do that with now, but what we're kind of looking at is something that's a little bit bigger than that might possibly help us in the future.
Kind of a slant to it.
Yeah, it'd have a slant to it. There's a lot of different designs out there. I think
Yeah.
I talked about it in here a little bit.
A year ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Talk about implementing something like
We
that
talked
last
about it.
year?
I think we actually got it, scheduled for next year for us to do it, put it in. So,
Was this machine that got all my kids' goldfish out?
we'll what?
Is this machine that caught all my kids' goldfish?
Probably, if you put them down the drain, right, yeah. Could have, then that's a vac truck there, they vac everything out real good. Here's a vac truck and here's a suction pipe going down inside, they cleaned all that out inside there.
How do the summertime temp workers, how do they help the process like that?
They do a lot of stuff. They don't get involved a whole lot in stuff
Yeah.
like this, but a lot of times they're go first and they'll go get like pieces of equipment that they need, or they'll run to another building and get something that we need.
Okay.
That's probably what this guy's doing right here.
Okay.
I always forget his first name. What's his first name? Colt. That's right. So Colt. Summer Help's doing real good this year, aren't they? I mean, I haven't heard any major complaints this year or anything. Did a good job. There's two of them down there this year. One of them's Jack Brown's son.
Okay.
And then the other's Colt. And they seem to work real well. Update on scum collection unit that we're having built right now. That'll be installed in the near future here. Anticipating completion of the equipment in mid to late August. Tenco Hydro Incorporated will advise us of the shipping date at least a week before they are ready to ship. I know we were kind of concerned about that. So the unit that we're replacing, it's been in there for 25 plus years. We're replacing that unit with a scum collection unit. And the unit right now, Nick, it's running still pretty good, isn't it? I mean, it's not real efficient, but it's running.
Yeah, And then
I'll be glad.
75%.
How long will it take to put that in, John?
Oh, I would anticipate probably maybe, what they say, a couple weeks, I think, for install. Maybe not that long.
I thought it was like a couple days.
So maybe it is a couple days.
I could be wrong. But
Well, they got to slide it in place. They got to put the, maybe 3 or 4 days. So they haven't really came out and told us how long. I mean, so we're working with Mid Ohio Mechanical on doing that work. So it's helping us hook that thing back up. Any questions on the scum collection? Okay, I have a legislative request. I'd like for everybody to look at it. This is something that I talked about earlier. Pass that down. This is something we've kicked around a little bit. What this is an ordinance establishing a $15 activation fee. It's for activation of a new account. Activation is defined as any instance of an account being established by an individual or entity. This is water and sewer account. This fee shall apply to all customers. Yeah. Activation fee is defined as any instance of an account being established by an individual or entity. This fee shall apply to all customers unless the activation fee is being performed for the sole purpose of automatically transferring service to the property owner's name where there is a pre-arrangement made between the city and the property owner. And what that means is if a landlord or something like that rents that out, then when we put it back, and he says, I'm going to put it back in my name until I rent it out again, we would not charge that landlord for another activation. Okay? We anticipate somewhere between 30 to 40 a month. What we have a month, it comes out to somewhere between $6,000 to $8,000 a year that would generate for us. And it's a fee that when you set up something when you're going to activate it, it just helps us pay for different things that when we have to set them up, we have to go make an account form that someone has to work on that form. We have to get information from them for that. Most water utilities, Newark has it, Pickerington has it, I think, who else has it? I think maybe Granville. I'm not sure about that one though. But this is one of the fees that we felt that should be added, where we're kind of losing out with personnel and stuff, setting up an account and stuff for them.
We got match fund, a little bit of that AMR system we're gonna be implementing.
You can use that money however you want to. Yeah, you can use that money however you want to use it. I mean, we're also looking at ways of possibly making things smoother for people to make payments on their bills.
Smoother for us to process.
For the process of the bills. So this fee would help with that. What we're looking at right now, and I haven't had a lot of meetings on it, so it's going to be hard for me to kind of explain to you. You'll have the ability to go to any bank and be able to make a water payment. And what it is it would work electronically. What happens now, a lot of people may go to their bank and make a payment of some kind, but that bank takes their time or actually writes up a check and then mails it. But we get a lot of people call in and say, I just paid that bill, but we didn't get it for like 3 days because the bank actually physically writes a check. Well, what we're looking at now is
Not necessarily right that moment either.
no. So there could be a 3-day lag. And people say, well, I paid that on a water bill, but I still got a delinquent fee. Well, we didn't get it. Well, this service that we're looking at now, they work with 9 major banks or something like that. And what is when you make a payment, it electronically would come into us immediately. That paperwork thing goes out the door. Yes,
So we gotta pay,
That's what we're
so
working on.
they don't spend 45 cents to mail it 2 days early.
Well, I think what we gotta remember
Progress.
is, well, the way people,
If these banks-
mayor's made that exact same comment. Thing of it is what we gotta remember is people in our day-to-day, the way I work, everything I write checks for everything. That's coming to an end. People wanna do everything online. The younger generation, I talked to 2 guys down at the wastewater plant, and they pay everything
I'm
over.
in the younger generation.
They pay everything, they pay everything over the internet.
You know how long
Hey,
it's been
and
since I wrote
and then
a
these people
check
steal your
to
damn
the water
identity, and then
department
you
here.
got all that shit to deal with, so, you know.
How do you
I
pay yours?
signed it up, and it's
Automatic
automatically
comes out of
taken
your
out of
check.
my
We have
account.
that available. I mean, that's one option. It just gives us more options of ways to pay.
I know, I like to log in and pay my bills, it's actually very convenient to me, but, for I think it's AEP, you pay a fee every time, unless you go to
Yeah.
paperless billing, and I don't like that, cause then I don't pay bills, cause I forget. So I want a piece of paper in the mail to pay my bill, then I log in, pay, it's done. But, that bill matrix, they pay, if you wanna pay online, then they charge me the fee.
Your assessment.
Yep.
That's right.
Users.
So the user assesses fee if they want the convenience of getting their bill paid right now. So I didn't know if you knew about it or not.
That's kind of the stuff we're learning about right now. I don't know what we can do and how we can arrange this. And we have another meeting coming up in 2 weeks with another company, that we're learning more about. I mean, we're not talking big money here. I think there's like a $6,000 or $7,000 setup fee, and then it's like 1,500.
Setup fee?
Yeah, it's like $2,000 a year or something to do that. After that, that's this one company.
I just know the bill matrix, the convenience fees passed on the person wanting.
All right, hold on. First of all, relax when you're hearing these numbers, because you weren't in these meetings and you didn't hear all the stuff that's involved in the solution that's around these numbers. It also deals with, these numbers also deal with an ability for us to handle these checks on a daily basis, allowing us to image the checks and the stubs themselves, so that when somebody comes to the window and says, I paid you the whole amount of the bill, why does this say that I only paid part of it? We can go right to the computer, pull up their check, pull up the stub, say, no, the payment due was $60 and you paid us $45. So no, you do still have that $15 outstanding.
Check imaging is one portion of that if we decide to go that route.
Yeah.
If we don't go that route, well, then that price starts coming down.
Yeah, there were
That was
multiple
one
things
option.
discussed in this automation solution that's driving the money that John's talking about.
And we haven't made any decisions yet. We're still listening to people, okay? So when I talk about this, we've made no decisions on this yet. But this is some of the things that maybe this $15 fee would help pay for if we want to do it in the future. Or it could be applied to something else. My personal opinion is it should go into the general utility fund and then be divvied up from there on how we want to use it. And do we want to use it on what we just talked about? Do we want to use it on the automatic meter reading system? Do we want to use it on whatever? So,
John, we talk about the pre-arrangement made between the city and the property owner. Does that mean they physically have to do something to make a pre-arrangement, or are you going to assume landlords are not going to have to pay this $15 every time a tenant moves out?
well, yeah, we will not charge the landlord
Okay.
for at all, ever.
Okay.
But I threw that in there because that's some language
Once
that's
they
been
pay
used
the
at
initial
other.
$15.
Yeah, it's just like anyone. I mean, someone's got to sign up from the
Yeah.
original. You know, but if someone is a landlord and they're renting that building, or an owner, and you rent that out to somebody else, we are not going to charge that landlord every time he's got someone that signs up. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work.
But person's name that it goes into, the renter,
The renter would have
are
to
they
pay.
paying the
Yes.
15?
Yes.
They will pay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you own a rental property, you rent it to family A. They come here to sign up for water. There's a new form that we're implementing in a month or two, I think,
Yeah, all,
that will actually help to define, that this, that this is going in, you as the landlord know that the account's going into family A's, name. You know that you're ultimately responsible for any delinquent payments if they skip out or whatever.
Right.
So family A would come in and pay this $15 fee. So then family A's lease runs out, they move out of your house. It takes you you landlord, takes you another month or two, say, to rent it to another family. You're not going to get the $15 fee for that gap where the account's in your name. But when family B comes in to sign
gonna
up
pay
for
15.
service,
Yeah, okay.
they're going to be charged the $15 activation fee.
That's never refunded though.
no.
No.
Okay.
We aren't, now a lot of places keep a deposit. We don't want to get into the deposit. I personally think it's a headache. I think Newark takes a deposit, but then after a year they give it back or something like that. I can't remember. Everybody does it different. Some people add it to their account, and I'll get you one. Some people add it to their account, and then it can be used there after a certain length of time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The more and more we've talked about that, we don't really want to.
Get into that.
It's another
Just
layer
more
of
headaches.
accounting.
Yeah, I just think it'd be an accounting grant. I'm sorry.
You keep saying renters, but does it also apply to homes?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, what-
Anybody that comes to activate an account. Yes.
So if
Where
someone
you
sells a
have-
house to someone else and that new person,
That's
they would
right.
activate.
That's
and
right.
okay.
Where you get, just because you tend to have more turnover is on rentals.
Yeah.
Right. But it does apply to all accounts,
Yes.
all water
That's correct.
meters or whatever you want to call it.
Businesses, same thing.
If I would sell my house and move someplace else in the city, I'd pay a
We're going to pay
$15
that $15
activation
fee.
fee. Yeah.
Like if you get a renter, it comes in, they rent in the city.
Yeah.
And they're renting it, not Woodlands, but Wedgewood.
Yeah.
Not Wedgewood, but what's the big one up here? Heathwood. They're renting it in Heathwood, they pay a $15 fee. They buy a home in Heath. When they go to buy that home in Heath, that's an activation fee. They're activating the account.
Yep.
They pay another $15. Okay. Now, down the road, let's say they move somewhere else and they keep that house and they're a homeowner, but they rent it.
Mhm.
Well, when someone comes in to rent that, they would pay that fee, but when they leave and it goes back into the landlord's name, we would not charge them
No.
an activation fee.
Okay.
But they're guaranteeing payment. That all makes sense. Part I struggle with is the one before where somebody walks in here and it's like, the city has the burden of proof, but they say they paid it one way and we're bearing the cost of several $1,000s
Check.
for burden of proof, just because it's their word.
Well, you gain, again, just the check processing system, if we go with that, this thing is able to rifle through like 100 checks a minute. We would take a process that, how long does it take for us to manually process all those checks each day when they come in? Especially when it's close to the due
Yeah.
date. It is a labor-intensive, one-by-one logging process. It can go through 100 checks in a minute. So it would automate that process and save time.
Jay's looking at this too. We've talked about it. Same way, like if you get checks from the income tax side, I don't think the income tax can use it because of the way they use. But let's say he has to take those checks and things to the bank. Well, he may be able to. I know he talked about possibly making copies of those checks so he has copies of them too. I mean, that's something that he was looking at. I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but that's something where he's only taking cash to the bank. He's not taking a bunch of checks to the bank. Somehow that gets processed.
Yes.
And
That's,
puts it right in.
we do
Okay.
it. Our
So-
company's the same way. The checks are get shredded daily, after they're scanned, they get shredded.
Yeah, these checks get scanned, it goes right to the bank, and we're not taking them physically up to the bank every day. I know Jay said it would be nice if we could do that with cash. Unfortunately,
I'm not spending
unfortunately,
it.
they have-
You don't want to scan any cash.
We don't that yet, but it's maybe coming. Heck, who knows? I don't know.
Any
Yeah.
cash
Just take a
you didn't
picture
take
of
to
it
the
and
bank,
say,
I'll
"I paid
take
my
it
bill."
for you.
My son did.
You can use my.
Yeah.
That's
Any questions, problems? Answered it.
Okay, so that's a legislative request.
About whether it was applied to homes too?
What else? is there? There's also, we have a couple delinquents. I'll put one on this side and one on that side. Pass that down. There's two delinquents that'll be on the council agenda.
So the idea is that this legislation will draw this up. The ordinance will be on Monday's agenda for first reading.
Hey, John,
Yes.
not that you didn't write that really good at the bottom there, but as David looked at that language there, it seems like that ought to be written a little bit different or something on the, I know your intention of that to be the owner, but it just, to me, unless you heard that explanation, you read that like 2 or 3 years from now, someone's gonna say, what's that supposed to mean?
I
exactly?"
agree,
You know
I
what
agree with
mean?
that. Maybe he'll have a different
Some
way.
more verbiage or more, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's why we sent it to him.
Yeah.
This is actually taken from Pickerington's. That's
Okay.
how they came up with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little bit hard to understand.
If you don't know what it actually refers to,
but-
I mean, almost needs to be
Yeah.
spelled out more. If the owner is a renter, you know,
Yeah,
comes back.
if he wants to come up with another way of putting it,
Yeah.
that's fine with me. I mean, I don't know, but that was taken
Yeah.
from another example.
Yeah.
So we'll see whatever. I mean, he always goes
Talking
through.
about lessons.
Yeah, and it may not have to be in the ordinance, I'm just saying in your work stuff, you know, to know what it explains, you know, so
I
that,
think we could put it a little bit easier.
You know.
It's a
somehow.
very long sentence.
I mean, it might take, you might need like 3 or 4 more sentences on a C note below or something like that kind of a thing.
I actually got that from Denise Rush. She's the one that gave me some of that information, that wording. So we'll see what Dave says. Maybe he may not like it. I don't know how he wants it. That's up to him. I'll explain it to him. Okay, so we went through legislative requests, activation fee, major fund report. There's the major funds, and that also did a weird thing to me here. I don't know what it did, but there's a water
Oh.
operating fund, capital water improvement, wastewater operating fund.
Last tab or whatever
Yeah,
kind
I
of went.
flipped
Yeah.
it down.
I
So
mean, you know.
those are the major funds in water and wastewater, the amounts. Other than that, I'm good, unless you guys have any other questions.
Questions?
Okay.
6:17, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Meeting morning.
Tomorrow at 7.
Who said?
At Shea House, yes.
Okay.
Did you have a copy of
The,
this?
serious community.
All you did is you look at 34 every time. So like in this game, you'd have a high state with 6, in Northern Illinois with 7.
Especially
You
he
just
was
look at
excited
34 in
when
every book. You got a high state 6.
food vendors.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at
And mine
34